What's up guys, this is Void of Dust Gaming, your channel for fresh Arena of Valor content. Today we are going to do something new, maybe eventually new. We're going to take a look at Sinestrea, but this time we are going to have a really short window. It's only 10 minutes long, but it has been a 20-minute game, so I cut it a little bit to the best scenes. And we are going to have a look through her abilities, which I don't regularly do. But I think in this case, it's quite important to have a look because she actually feels a lot different than all the other characters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to present you the build, then I'm going to talk about the abilities, and afterwards I've got some gameplay, but as I said, it's kind of compromised, so I've got only the best moments for you, both when I was killed and when I killed things on the other hand, so that you know about her strengths, about her weaknesses. But this is kind of like a first impression video, so I haven't played her that often. This is like the first game I've ever played with her in a casual game, but nonetheless I just wanted to take the opportunity to tell you something more about her because I think she is one of the coolest heroes out there in the game at the moment. So if you like this kind of content and you haven't found Void of Dusk in quite a while, just hit the subscription button, put on the notifications. If you like this kind of content, a thumbs up will highly be appreciated. And I'm always quite thankful for comments in the comment section below. So if you've got anything to say about this kind of format on the one hand or about the build and the hero on the other hand, feel free to put down your thoughts. And now I hope you enjoy today's video. Alright guys, so here's the build that I came up with. We are going to play Sinestrea in the solo lane. I know that most players are playing her in the jungle, but we kind of took the jungle build and switched it around a little bit for our purposes. So Sinestrea is a mixed hero between melee and range attacks. Basically that all is around her kit. That's basically the main source of damage. Twisting between those two is key to success. So what we want to accomplish is a good mixture between attack speed on the one hand and life gain on the other hand. And therefore we're using a Marksman build, which is based around the Clef Sancti. We've got Omni Arms and we've got Devil's Handshake in it. I'm taking Fafnir's and Spear of Longinus, but the last of the two are more some kind of trial mode. Like, I think the first 4 items, War Boots and the other stuff, is quite necessary and it's kind of a staple on her. But Fafnir's and Spear of Longinus are more of some kind of trial and error thing that I'm doing right now. So don't take these for granted, but we're gonna see if they work out in the build anyway. So this is kind of the build we're talking about. Arcana wise, of course, I've taken then my Crit Assassin build. As I said, it's all about attack speed. Therefore, I'm taking 10 times Blitz for increasing the critical chance as well as the attack speed by 16%. Then we're using Guerrilla for the movement speed and another attack speed. That means 26% attack speed increase only by Arcana. And then we're going with Skewer just for the really necessary Armor Pierce ability or trait here. And enchantment wise, we are going to use Shadow Blade for this build. You can use Raging Inferno as well. I think it might even be better than Shadow Blade because we've got only one single dash. Then you take Deadly Claw just for this additional attack damage, and then we're taking Curse of the Death, which is actually quite nice because we're going to hit enemies a lot with our normal attacks. Basically, our main source of damage is normal attacks, and then we've got one ability, but all the other stuff is about normal attacks. And then we're using here the Enhanced Restore and the Gunslinger for complementing the build, and that's basically around it. So let's take a look at Sinestrea in terms of all of her abilities. Got a lot of heroes on my hands right now. So we've got Sinestrea here, and that's basically Lazy Sunday, Assassin, Warrior, Mobility, Finisher. She's basically a jack of all trades, but that makes her a little bit difficult to play. So let's take a look at the Blood Bramble passive. Active equipment has been replaced by the Blood Ritual ability. After 3 seconds of channeling, Sinestrea dies and explodes. So the thing is, she's got some kind of like sacrifice time bomb. So you can use this ability to sacrifice yourself. If you are on low health, you will be in some kind of freezing state, and then afterwards you're gonna explode. If you guys have played Kog'Maw It's kind of similar, but without the stuff where you actually walk around. But you need to trigger this. So this is kind of an ability that has to be activated. So it doesn't trigger on your death by itself. So you need to trigger it. I think it's kind of like a difficult ability to use if you're not full engaged in a team fight, because that's 1 second, and 1 second is quite long. I'm going to activate it once in that game that you're going to see afterwards, and you see how the delay really kind of destroys the whole momentum. So I'm a little bit worried about the actual use of this ability. I think sometimes in the thick of things, and there are many people around, that might come in handy if you're going to die anyways. That's cool. The other part of the ability is you gain 1 blood bramble for every single kill that you do, but it's a kill, not an assist. And at least that reads itself like that. And if you're going to use this blood bramble ability, then or the blood ritual ability, then you are going to be resurrected with full health. So that's actually quite nice. If you're going to die anyways, you can use it, and it works as some kind of Blade of Eternity effect, but with full health instead. So this is your passive. Let's come to the first ability. The first ability is kind of just like you've got 1 single dash. If you are in the melee mode, you can switch between the 2 modes, melee and range. She will have another dash afterwards, and if you are dashing towards some location and she doesn't move for 2.5 seconds, she will fall asleep and become invisible. So you can set up traps with that. It's like the Teemo effect from League of Legends, but you have to use an ability first, and then afterwards you become invisible if you are standing still for at least 2.5 seconds. In melee, her next normal attack will pierce, so that's kind of like a good thing, but it's basically your tool to engage into fights if you're in melee mode, or if to reposition yourself if you are in range mode. And now we come to the bread and butter. That's like the basic thing about Sephara, and as I said, she is all about life consuming stuff, and on the other hand, she is about life leeching herself. So this Blood Ghost is basically an ability that you press and you will switch between melee on the one hand and range attack on the other hand. If you are, and I'm not going into detail about all these numbers, basically the thing is, if you are in melee mode, you will gain life by every consecutive auto attack. It's going to stack really fast, and you guys will see that in the upcoming video. Your life gain is enormous. That's the melee mode. If you are switching it into range mode, each normal attack consumes 4% of your current HP. And you won't get any lifesteal if you are using a range attack. That's super important, because it means that you are draining your life like crazy. Your life gain, your life meter will decrease like an idiot. It's crazy how fast it goes. You need to be super careful about your life bar, your health points. The other effect that you get from the range attacks is that there will be some kind of flower marking, and the petals will come up to 7 petals. If you are then pressing the second button again, there will be some kind of area of effect template. If that kind of lands on you, or you just press it while you move, the whole life leech thing that you've done to yourself, all these petals that you put on an enemy, will come back to you, and they will fill up your life bar. If you don't use it on yourself, but you use it as some kind of template on the enemy, as you guys are going to see in the video, I'm going to show you so you guys understand what I'm talking about. If you use that, then the life bar will be depleted like it was, but you will inflict additional damage on the enemy. As you can see here, switching to melee, bloodstains on all targets will be focused into blood swords and sent to target point. That's the target point. If you don't send them, all these stuff that you have inflicted on the enemies comes back to you, and you will gain life on top of that. That's like the most important thing. Attack damage is huge on her, by the way. And then we've got Blood Samsara. This is kind of like a really funny thing. You activate it while you are standing next to an enemy hero. Both of your life will be put into one single pot, and then it will be divided by 2. So you can use that to regain life if you're fighting an enemy who is full. So you shouldn't use it on an enemy who hasn't got any life left. What you can do is you can fight 2 enemies. One has lower health that you have been targeting all the time. Then the tank comes in, you take HP away from the tank, finish off the AD carry, and then you deal with the tank afterwards. That's something that you can work with. So we have seen the stuff, we've got the build, we've got the abilities. Now let's see some actual gameplay so that you guys know what I was talking about. Let's go. Well guys, as I said, there are going to be some cuts in the video. I hope that I don't have any layers between these, so they will be quite hard, but it's all about the performance, and the game was actually super long. We've played around 20 minutes, so I just have cut them in half. So the beginning of the game is that we see a Valor here, and I would always advise you to kind of use your second ability first. That's like the ability that you're going to start with, and as you can see, I'm in melee mode, I'm in range mode right now, and you can see the depletion of the health bar already. If I would have had my first ability at this point, that would have been pretty cool, because then I would have been able to dash into the range of the enemy, and now I can't do anything but be dead for good. So that's the problem. Like, okay, the beginning was really bad, but that's the problem of her. You deplete your life pretty fast. And I've been playing against Scud at the beginning of the game, and Scud is a nuisance to AD characters because he one-shots them. But with Sinestrea, I had the feeling that it's even worse because I am depleting myself just by myself. Like he doesn't even need me to do something else, because even if I use it on minions, jungle creeps, it doesn't matter. So as you can see, I have been dying 2 times already. So I would advise you to use, for clearing purposes, always your melee attacks with your sword, and if you are lucky enough, you can then switch to range attacks and everything is going to be good. As you can see, I was using my second ability to switch back into melee, and you see these little swords coming back to you, these little shards. So here we go. That's the point where I used my ult for the first time. I just wanted to check it out. And unfortunately, I don't have this last single shot to damage him. But we have taken another approach with Liliana here. Scud comes down here from this point, and this was, I think, a really good use of the ultimate. I was able to use the ultimate and cut his health into half, and then I was able to do 1 single kill here, and now I can try to jump in, but I'm using my abilities, and as you can see, I'm super lowish here. I wanted to use Blood Ritual, but it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So it's kind of like, that was really edgy to play it like that here, but you've got great damage potential. I think the mix between using your range attacks and then transforming them into a template, and here we go, I'm super lowish. So I can't really go in here. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get to the Natalia using my ult on her, as I did here. And then I was consuming half of her health because she was full. And then I put it into my health. So the problem about Sinestrea is the less health you have, the better your abilities work. But on the other hand, you're of course then sooner dead. That's the problem. You're closer to death. I mean, you can always use your range attacks and then just kind of put the shots back onto yourself. So you've got more range on the one hand, so you play a little bit safer, and then on the other hand, you do get the life back. There comes Scud again. But Liliana has him under control. And now you can see that I start to build some nice crit moments eventually, which is going into... Oh my god, here, he got us. And yeah, that was the second, that was the thing that I said in the ability description. If you are on, she used her ability now. If you are on melee, you will get a second dash every single time you use one of your auto attacks. So we have already managed to get 3 kills here. I think it's quite satisfying. Still 3 kills. I'm the gold leader, that's gonna tell you something. This is like the first game that I've ever played with her, and now we are about to get into range to kill the opposing. She uses her blood thing ability, and unlucky for me, she even got me here. So my life was lowered, but now I've got Templar's blades, and you guys are going to see how fast she is getting back life every single time she hits something. Look at that. 200, 170, 120. She's got great damage potential, but then she feels pretty much like a glass cannon where you really need to pay super close attention to the fact of how many life you have, how many life the opponents have, how the trade can kind of be executed, and that's gonna tell you something. So he drags me in, but it doesn't matter because I still got the last hit on him, and while I was using the Monk Golem power, I had the opportunity to kind of just burn him down. So now we've got Devil's Handshake, so the build is completed within that build range that I was talking about. And here we were trying to use the abilities against us, and unfortunately I wanted to put my template between her and I so that she would walk into it, but unfortunately she didn't. So this was kind of the case, and now I decided to go with Favniers. I was trying to take a look on what kind of recommended here, but then I just decided to go with Favniers, and I'm going to use it afterwards. So look at the damage that we're doing right now. So damage is huge. And now we are going to have a really nice double kill here. There we go. 7 kills already. 752 with her. And you can always use the jungle creeps to increase your health even further if you have been in a team fight where your health was depleted. So that should always be an option. But as you can see, we're not doing that great team-wise. 12, 18. Of course, I have a character that I'm not really that familiar with. And here you can see when you are killing something, the triggering effect, getting back life, is always triggered. You don't have to do anything against that. So look at that, look at that, look at that. My life goes down, and now my shards come back to me without anything that I need to activate, so that's cool. I think she's quite good in the jungle, but I have the feeling that if the start would not have been against Scott but someone else, that could have been quite fun. So here we are going to kill her. At least that's what I tried, and now of course I got the danger from the enemies coming back in, so that was stupidly played, but that was a blood ritual with full stacks. And a dead Natalia. So that dash is really great. The dash in combination with your massive damage potential is super great. 1500 crits, and I use minions to get back health every single time. That's so fantastic. But yeah, she's quite difficult to master, I guess. But that's the beauty of this character. So this time I have taken Blade of Eternity, and you can see the paddles over the minions here. So I wanted to push into the tower, but unfortunately I'm not really a threat to Grog. That's the problem. So I can use my ability here. But as soon as someone else comes in, I don't have the measures to fight them anymore. I could have used Blood Ritual here. That would have eventually made a difference, but now I need to sidestep all of this, and the enemies are already closing in on the last single tower. If you take the death count into account, we've got 16 kills right now, and I have executed half of them. Now not anymore, but now we lost the game. So this was just based as a first impression of her. I think she is actually quite fun. I think they have done a good job with the new heroes. Thorn is great, Lorien is cool, and I think Sinestrea is cool as well. So I want to play her more often. I've got MVP in the first game that I've ever played with her. That was, but yeah, we've got AFK. We've got an AFK Valheim, but they had an AFK Brunhilde as well, so that's even. 36.3 damage, 30.1% tanked. So this was my first impression. I hope you guys liked it. Just tell me in the comments what you thought about it. That would be cool. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.